Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Business Morning. It's the 12th of January 2019. I am Boss Cinemafaye. We're live to you from the global headquarters of Channels Television here in Lagos. But the price of crude oil is not decided in Lagos, nor Abuja, nor anywhere, but at the global marketplace where crude oil are traded. So 24 hours ago, we spoke about the price of crude oil here on the program, whether that will breach $70 a barrel, and that we'll have a few glasses here to toast to that. And just about dinner time, the oil flirted with $70 a barrel, but retreated to $69.27 early today. So that's some good news for everyone in the loop, but some folks are not happy. That's part of the discussion. Iran says they are not happy at the recent or the current rally in crude prices, but we to keep my promise to millions of our viewers here at home and around the world. This is Dolapo joining me this morning. He's head of energy research at EcoBank Nigeria. Good morning. And this is about the third time you're coming on the program this year, because oil has been particularly in the green, in a bullish run, like our stock market here at home. So we brought something here to mark oil at 70. I think the first, and I went back, when oil went up to $70 a barrel,
2014.
Was at 2014. Way back in 2005, August 26, that was Hurricane Katrina that hit the U.S. coast massively. That's brought a lot of damage. Oil spiked to 70.8 or 70.5, went again to $70.8 per barrel, and that was quite historic. So we'll see, but this is the first time during the Buhari's administration, or the current administration, that we've seen what you call an oil windfall. Yes or no?
Very true.
Because the administration started around
2015, and they started with very low oil prices.
About 30?
In the 30s,
In the 30s.
Exactly.
Now it's in the 70s.
Now it's in the 70s.
We'll get a lot of questions to ask the president and his team, how they'll be spending this money. And that's the key question why Dolapo is here this morning. And of course, we'll be crossing live to our Abuja studios to talk to Professor Uche Waleke, who is an associate professor of finance at the National State University, later on the program, to bring all angles to this important day. But first, as we said, let's start with a toast to $70.
The new $100.
The new 70.
The new 100.
Maybe 100.
Maybe. And to spending it well.
Well, that's a different thing. And that's the job of the president. My job is to report how oil prices go, how it is spent responsibly and judiciously for the country is the job of the president and commander-in-chief and his team. Okay, let's get on. Now we'll go to just clicking this. But again, this was news that's been on Twitter, on the social media over the last couple of hours, in fact, overnight, since I tweeted that we're going to have a few. And so a few questions have been coming on Twitter on why we should be clinking glasses, at least here in Nigeria, $70 a barrel. This is what Andrew Ali retweeted my tweet, and he had his response. So we're taking a few of them. He said, I bet you, and that's Bosin, and no one is celebrating crude touching $70 in Norway. To me, it is a disgrace that after so long, we are still to the crude price. It is also a crying shame that we didn't use the last recession to break the dependence on crude, albeit with some progress, it seems, on agric. That's from Andrew Ali. Then Olufemi Awuyemi, who has his Twitter account verified, tweeting at Olufemi Awuyemi, replying to PB Yinkere and B. Bosin, and said, why are you celebrating $70 price? Please enlighten me. That's what Femi Awuyemi tweeted this morning. And then we have another voice on Twitter, Lanre Buluro, who also tweeting at Lanre Buluro, says, replying to the Dolapo and Bosin, two of us hacking this together overnight. He says, are you revising your oil price estimate? And I think that goes to Dolapo here. I believe you were in the mid-50s. That bad side to the rising oil price is that it promotes bad behavior. Now diversifying the economy from oil would just be gist. That's interesting. Let's continue. We have a few more. A sample of what we have on Twitter. Adeyemi David at Yemi Dafidi. says, what's the implications of this rise in crude oil price vis-a-vis our petroleum price in Nigeria? And that's ending it up there on a Yoruba. I should actually explain myself. I have 1 hour to do that this morning. I got two folks. Then Dr. Gbenga Adesoji, who is tweeting at I am Gbenga, replying to my tweet and that of Delapo. So my question, according to him, is now that oil is at 70 and FX reserves is $40 billion, is the Naira not undervalued at 360 to the dollar? We had an 80% devaluation from 199 to 360. That's a little bit of a sample of about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about 5 tweets. Just a sample of your comment about the $70 per barrel that we hit the crossing we had yesterday night. But this morning, we've seen Brent retraces to about 69. 27. Dolapo, let's stick first with the global issue around how we arrived at $70 a barrel. Last year, it was one of the investment banks on Wall Street, I guess between JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs, that says $70 per barrel was a likelihood before the end of 2017. And 2 weeks into the new year, we got it. Exactly.
Well, we had a surprise figure when we saw that American oil production actually dropped. And that shocked a lot of people. We also saw, some significant figures showing that demand also increased in America. Inventories for petroleum products actually also went down as well. They had to draw significantly on their commercial storage for crude oil as well too. And then generally where the market is currently plays a very significant role. We're having what we call a deep freeze in North America. The deep freeze is actually affecting onshore fields. It's affecting demand for heating as well too. So we're seeing a huge demand again for energy in that part of the world. And vis-a-vis also look at the fact that we're having steady growth in China, India, and several other major oil consumers. Now the last part, which is also the critical part, is on the supply side. The supply picture has changed. Before, we used to have a situation where we had a supply gap in the market where supply significantly exceeded demand. But that is no longer the case. Even though what is causing that is because a lot of barrels have left the market. You have the Kurdistan barrels that are still not on the market yet, roughly about 200-ish. You've got some Iranian barrels that are now off the market after the Iranian protests. A few pipelines were bombed, and so some barrels left the market. You had the OPEC barrels that have left the market because of the OPEC cuts. And don't forget, Nigeria has now been capped at 2.2 as well too. Then you have, all the non-OPEC countries that joined OPEC for the cut as well too, Russia and the likes, and they are still compliant to the cut. So the market was very tight. And if you're a refiner, this means that you're not certain where you're going to get your barrel, so you just want to make sure you get your barrel. So prices went really high, and that helped us to get to this point. It's a serious demand. But of course, we have a lot of conversation there. Just a second, folks. I may need to take this off the table. Some folks may just be eyeing this and not looking at the conversation. But let's just keep this away, shall we? Let me hand it over to you. We have this bottle
just keep it out there somewhere. Let's do with this, dispense with these two glasses.